All right, guys. So I'm back here. This is Unsarcastic. I'm going to be talking about the top four match we're going to play through. Kind of go over stuff. So we've got me on the left. We've got NJ Quink on the right. As you can see, DookTal versus SnoBazFOST. So we play out. We go for the die roll. Um, I have 5. I think he gets like 6 or 7. Uh, whatever it is. So he gets the pick. He goes with Rift Valley. I grab a couple shields. So I put one on Snoke and one on Bazine. That's my normal setup. So I have a DH, and I need to stop shuffling. I think like a Slave 1, Dooku, and Houndstooth, something like that. So I kept like a big chunk of my hand going, all right, I'll let him just put a bunch of damage in, but he probably won't kill my guy here. And I will just try to ramp out hard so that I can potentially go and kill Talzin. Bazine probably dies, and then I can just mop up Dooku with removal and crush him. He's also with the speed. I roll a discard side. So he plays a second card, and now you'll notice he pays for a Dark Council here. So he paid for the Dark Council in case I went and took the 3 discard. Now the reason this is oddly relevant is because he actually ends up having it binds all things in his hand, and he clearly doesn't try to play it binds and then lose his hand. The Dark Council will give him the ability to potentially draw a card, because Talzin could roll out. Let's say she whiffed completely, like real bad sides, but then found the odd card on top. He could hit the Dark Council for special, and then draw a card, and he would have something to be able to pitch to reroll after Dooku and blah blah blah. So we'll go back. I'll roll in, continue. Snoke hits resource and blank. So now the thing I'm thinking here is that because I hit the resource, I could more adequately go Houndstooth, and then eat my Bazine die and be back to 2 resources, so I can do a resolution of 4. Or sorry, 4 for 2, so I can be at 4 resources and continue on with the ramp. Even the 2 for 1 would do it. He hits the spell of removal. So he switches the blank over to a resource. So a lot of people probably wouldn't even consider that. They'd be thinking about like the damage, but Nick knows he needs the money to operate. So 1 resource is better than 1 damage. And we operate by like the same theory. We turtle for a while. And I'm watching the match in real time because like I'm gonna try to be able to see my hand at times because I can't remember all of this. And I'm eating ice cream, so if you hear little bits of clicking. Thanks for a while. So he does the 4 speed, and he rolls out Dooku. So one of the surprising things here is that you have to wonder why he doesn't just resolve instead of 4 speeding. And now it might the reasoning might be is if you wanted to like pitch to reroll, but like that kind of just doesn't really make sense. So the other theory is if he had hit enough damage to kill a guy. So like if he had hit 2-2, he could kill Faust. Or if he hit a single 2, he could just decide to one-shot Faust here. He didn't though. This is assuming he has an all-in hand. So he does the 3. I pretty much ignore it and just don't care. I have no intention of continuing from where I'm at. I don't play Slave 1 because trying to mitigate his die, I'm not going to be fast enough, and the resources are very important for me here. We're on Rift Valley, so like I already know I'm going to get one of my dice eaten. In theory, I could try to like play out damage faster or the resource or whatever faster, but my entire intent here is just to super ramp out, and I'll try to find a focus to get resources off Faust or Bazine at some point in the round. He goes to 3 resources. I still have no intention of taking his hand. If I go and I take his hand here, he'll just Rift Valley for the Faust. Actually, he could Rift Valley if I did anything else. So like I'm just rolling out dice to either run into removal or have him Rift Valley something so that I can do things. He's deciding, I think, at this point, whether to like play the upgrade straight up, I think, or go binds. But I'd assume at this point he's realized that I have no intention of doing the discard, even though I left it there for ages. So he plays the binds at this point, and I think his decision tree is like if I go for the discard, for his hand and I hit his upgrade, which will end up being, I think, an heirloom, then, you know, whatever, I hit it and he moves on. So I have the 2 on the FOSS, so I can go for 4. I have the special on the Bazine, and I have the 2 for 4 on the Houndstooth. Now the thing here is that because he has no money, I know his only option is to realistically Rift Valley. So you'll probably see me just grab the 2 resources here, and then let him Rift Valley one of the leftover dice. I guess my theoretical hope is that he would actually take the Snoke die, because if he took the Snoke die, then I'd actually be able to play the Dooku in hand, focus the Bazine and the FOST, or at least focus the Bazine to resource. I mean, not special, and then put 7 damage into Talzin, putting her close to death. But what he'll end up doing is he should end up Rift Valleying my First Order Stormtrooper here, if I'm not mistaken. So I Dooku. I'll roll out. Get the 2. So my focus here kind of gets wasted, but I'll end up just focusing Bazine to more resources, and I believe grab the 5, cast the Slave 1. A couple reasons for the Slave 1. One is tempo. If you play something, I get Bazine in, and I could be able to use the power action in the subsequent round. The other reason is because it'll be good in general, getting itself into play. It has 2 sides, has a 3, 2 1s, and a 0. So like it's a good set of sides to have. The Dark Council essentially has the equivalent to 3 blanks because of the special, and 3 1s. And since he's gonna like focus dice over, he's gonna have all sorts of different numbers on the table. So like the Slave 1's gonna be better. Also, after playing the Slave 1, I can power action itself if it hits a bad side that I'm not willing to resolve. So I'll roll it out. So I think at this point I'm honestly hoping for like a resource. Because if I did a resource here, I could take it and play the ATDP. I have a 2 indirect, 3 indirect for a resource, and I'm not willing to use that for a couple reasons. One, the 1 additional damage isn't worth a resource to me in comparison to the 2 or the other 2. And I'd be perfectly content here with any of the other 4 sides, realistically. Like 2 indirect, you could split it up, and that would suck, but I end up getting the 2 ranged. So I punch into Talzin. And now part of the reason I'm punching Talzin is the lower health pool. The other reason, though, is because she's carrying a 4 speed and a Dark Council right now. So if I can kill her, I only need 7, and I have to deal with Rift Valley as is. So my damage is all over the place. And it would take away 2 dice from Talzin, plus a Dark Council, plus a 4 speed. So I'd get an overall reduction of 4. The heirloom would move over, But I feel like I'm in an okay spot. I've taken 5, he's taken 2. But he's got 4 resources worth of stuff in play, or 5 resources worth of stuff, and I have 8. But it's not amazing. So I'm sitting with a doubt in hand. I've been thinking ATDP from the last round. He flips over a deflect. So like deflect's a huge concern for me here. I cannot actually remember that he has a spell of removal in hand. I got to a point where I was like, crap, what was the freaking card on top? So if I did remember, I would pretty much go all out trying to force him to use it. So now the thing here is I can't remember if he has the 3. Because like I can't I can't Snoke Bazine's die no matter what. But if I roll out Bazine, um, I could actually do the slave one on it. Okay, no, there was he focused his own die to the 2, so he could actually just kill my guy. So um, I end up pin downing the base 2 just to force the Bazine not to die in one action. So if he tries to make any play here that isn't kill Bazine, or like to put Bazine that low, then I could make different options. I also have the doubt here if I want to try to go for the kill. So like I could have attempted to doubt here and keep her alive. I didn't find it wholly relevant. So what I opted for here was just to get the slave one in the pool, so that I could go for the power action when Dooku comes out. Yeah, no, that was pretty much it. Like I could have also, I guess I could have like in theory doubted the Talzin 2, but the problem is that there were too many sides that were just going to be bad there action wise. It would have been the like the 1 and the 2 would have been bad. The focus would have flipped the heirloom to a 3 to kill my guy. And then discard resource are just not good for me either. So I try not to doubt something that has that many sides where I'm just not really happy about it. So I take the 2 resources to get to 5. Now one of the things here is that, feasibly speaking, I could have rolled out Faust to try to threaten damage onto Talzin. And the speed at which I do stuff may just end up being bad because I didn't do it, and it's something I just didn't really keep in mind. Because like I want to get Faust used. I haven't Snoked yet, but like the longer I wait, the more susceptible I just straight up am to Rift Valley. So if I had rolled them out and found like a 2, I could just Snoke that straight into the Talzin. But I power action the slave one. I hit the 33% to hit the 2 and take out the Dooku die. In general, I only had one side that I couldn't kill anything with. If I hit a 1, I would have killed the other Dooku die, or he has a deflect on top, and he has that special for the Dark Council. So I roll out Faust here because my theory is that I can't let him get that. So now he'll have to cast removal, and like we'll go from there. But I needed to get the range in play so that he couldn't draw the card and then have deflect for when I rolled my range out. Because then if he deflected the Faust, I'd be all screwed up. So he cast the isolation here. And I still at this point do not remember that he has the other one, the spell of removal. But I know I need to get my thing in the pool so he doesn't resolve his other stuff, or at least isn't able to Rift Valley, because Dooku Sailor plus Snoke is realistically only going to get me, more resources or some indirect. So in the first round, I also I completely forgot to draw off of Dooku, because I'm an idiot, and like that cost me quite a bit, because I don't recall what the top card I drew was, but I don't think I was lacking in reroll, but it's just that like not having that card means I couldn't filter out if it was bad. And I think I do get stuck with like a duplicate of a vehicle that I end up like pitching for a reroll at some point. But like seeing the other stuff is very necessary. So we know there's a deflect on top, but he doesn't choose to do the Dark Council for some reason, which could essentially just be theorized as a huge misplay. And like I can't think of any reason for him to keep the Dark Council there. Like not a single one in pass. Oh, I guess you know what it is. So the reason for him not drawing is this. If he drew the card, he would no longer know if the top card's an odd, so his spell of removal would no longer be good. The only dilemma here is that like I can't think of any reason that he would need to spell of removal anything else I play besides a ranged. So drawing the deflect instead makes the most relevant sense because he would just cast the deflect. Especially once I had the Fang and rolled out and whiffed, it would make a lot of sense for him to just draw the card. So I go with my 4 indirect, so he can't Rift Valley here. My intent after this is to pretty much play one of the items in my hand and then go from there. So now the only thing is I can't remember if I had a natural pilot in hand. So he focuses over to shield. And the quality on this is actually just not amazing. So yeah, I had a Dooku's, I think a Doubt, and I don't know what the other card is. So yeah, I attempted to take his shield out, which would have been the equivalent to 1 damage, and I get to go first, so I can get the slave 1 in play. So yeah, like if I had drew Dooku's off of Dooku's, then in the first round, then it would have been more helpful to get rid of it. So I think I find the natural pilot here. Okay, so this is gonna be the round where I feel like I screwed up pretty heavily. So now I have 3 resources. I have the natural pilot. So the thinking here is that I absolutely want to find the fourth resource so I can go natural pilot, and be able to just go and murder stuff. I get 3 for a resource here. I may have drawn both natural pilots. But pretty much he shows me a Witch Magic. We've got shield, discard, I think a 3, a special, and a discard. So yeah, I've got Doubt, 2 natural pilots, Chance Cube, and a pin down. So I'm going to pin down the 3 because I'm just not dealing with that. So I'm back down to 2. So I would pretty much need to find the 4 for 2 to continue from here, or the 2 on the Dooku Sailor. Which is pretty much all perfectly fine and dandy. So he rolls out. He gets a shield on the speed, focus, and 2 shields. So in theory here, he just switches over the focus from Dooku because it's unnecessary. But let's say he had like an all-in for a kill here. He could take a 2 or a 3 on the Dooku that's on the shield side, and then like all-in to focus to flip the dagger to like a +3, hit for 6 or 5 depending on what he would need. But yeah, so he 4 speed hits for 2. So now I'm going to end up doing the power action on the slave 1 anyways. We have 66% chance of removing one of his dice. Or actually, no, I choose not to. I leave the stuff there. So I get the 3 shields for a resource, which is fine, but I'm not super happy with it. The thing here, though, is that if I roll out Dooku, I could focus that to the 4 for 2. And if I do that, then I can get down the natural pilot. So he Witch Magic once, and I see another Witch Magic. So like I should know that I need to go kill something here. I only need to do 10 to Dooku or 10 to Towson, which is very doable when you include a natural pilot. And he has 1 resource. So I decide at this point to go for the slave 1. Power action. Yeah, he didn't go for a reroll. So I get the 2. I kill the Dooku shields. So, like, depending on what his hand setup was, there's a bunch of different options I have here. But he pitches to go for the reroll. Keeps the shield because shield's a health. And, like, it's weird because, like, 4 speed's ridiculous, and I don't care about the special on the speed. I think the focus and the shield on 4 speed are just bonkers because it's a 0-cost upgrade. So, like, I guess the shields, in theory, you're like, all right, well, this is kind of irrelevant because, like, you wouldn't pay 0 for 1 shield, but it's not just 1 shield, just shield, you know, or whatever's going on throughout the course of the game. And then the focus side is ridiculous as well. So I rolled this out here to see if I get, like, the 3 or something. So he grabs shields. Oh, nope, he decides to play an illusion on Dooku. So why the illusion, I'm not quite sure. But did I just draw or not? 1 second. Let me go check that. I think I drew. So we're at 447. Alright, so I should be rolling out Dooku here. So I've got 4 in hand. Okay, yeah, I do draw. So he grabs the 2 shields, which makes life harder. But he splits them 1 and a 1. So Dooku actually has 10 health, a shield, and an illusion. So 11 health plus an illusion. And the Talzin is only at 11 health. So now here's where the shit gets real bad. So I play the Chance Cube. And now the thing is that I think somewhere in my head, my thinking is like, oh, I'll, you know, if I cube, I can get the money and then be, like, super greedy and do all the shit. And, like, that was a huge fucking mistake. Because what should actually occur is that I should pitch to reroll. I think everything except for the ATDP. And the reasoning for this is that if I pitch everything besides the ATDP, or if I reroll everything besides the ATDP, I could get the 4 for 2 natural on the slave one, which would set me up. I could get a disrupt, which would eat his resource to stop removal. I could hit the 2 resources on the Dooku sailor. If I hit the 2 focus, then what I can do is I can show the 4 for 2, and then I can show the 3 on the Fang. And then he would pretty much claim or cast a piece of removal on the Fang, because he doesn't want to take 5. And then I can take the 2 resources and play the natural pilot on Snoke. If he doesn't have a piece of removal in hand with that last 1 card, then he ends up claiming Rift Valley to kill the 3. So, like, let me pause real quick. In the scenario where I don't do the cube and roll out FOST, and because I have a bunch of cards, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 dice that we're re-rolling. So a 2 or 3 on the Fang would force him to do something. The 1 on the slave one would force him to do something. So we're at 44% to show a range side to pair with this ATDP, and, like, we just don't re-roll it because realistically, I don't find that to be a huge concern. I'm fine with the 2 just being there. I could have potentially re-rolled it to try to get 2 or 3, but I don't actually want that. I want to just find the range to force him to Rift. And then I would have also been content with the 4 for 2 on the Hound, the 2 focus on the Dooku, or the resource. So, like, there was a bunch of stuff there I would have been happy with, because I'm realistically trying to get him to crack the Rift Valley so I can go do the rest of my round. So in the situation where this would have occurred, and I hit any of the range and he Rift Valleyed, then I can like get the resources, or if I get the 2 focus, then I can focus straight to the extra 2 resources and flip like ATDP or like I can pretty much flip Slave 1 to a 2 base, and then jam down the pilot, and then I'd still have FOST available for Snoking as well. So like that setup would have just put me in a much better scenario, because he's attempting to wait out in Rift Valley the Stormtrooper. So if the 4 for 2 comes, or I focus into those, and for some ungodly reason he doesn't Rift Valley there, then it means like he's crazy, because like you have to pretty much stop the Fang from doing like the sets of 4 or 5 or whatever. If he ends up going in Rift Valley, let's say like the 2 focus, then I can put the cube on Snoke, roll out Snoke, and focus and do stuff, and then just throw the pilot on FOST to go get all the damage in, because then I would have access to this 2, so I'd potentially have access to 2 here, 2 here, 4 on FOST, and a 3 on the natural pilot. So 2, 4, 8, plus a 3 would make 11, which is exactly what I need in order to, or actually I only need, was exactly what I need to kill Talzin, because Talzin's fully healed. And like, this is assuming he has no piece of removal in his hand with the leftover card, or 2 cards. But he casts Failure Anger, because I have this stupid blank on the cube. So I lose my FOST out of that, and I think I kind of give up inside at this point. No, I think I reroll, and then he Rift Valley is my focus. Because like I no longer have the resource to do the 4 for 2. I would have to find a resource on an additional one of those dice. So this is where he claims and eats the 2 focus. Now, here's the next mistake. Instead of pitching the fucking doubt in my hand, to re-roll those, because I think that's a 2 for 1 showing there, and potentially getting the cube to get me the 2 resources to be able to get me back to cast the natural pilot, and then still potentially have a chance to kill the Talzin if I hit like proper focus sides. I just roll in Snoke to take what I can get here. Which was just functionally very bad. So like in general, I didn't know that he had access to a doubt in hand, but I'm just in a real troubling situation here. And I did not do the proper set of plays to get me to the promised land. But yeah, like if the damage showed up and a blank didn't show up, then he definitely would probably Rift Valley there, because he can't afford to take all the damage, or he just doesn't want to take all the damage, you know. So like I'm just doing indirect here, and it's not great. The reason I do the indirect there is because I'm trying to see where it ends up going, so that I could properly focus to what I need. But I know in my head that I'm just going to focus to 3 resources and 3 damage. And it's not particularly a mistake, but you can consider it as one. I chose not to play the natural pilot because I want to hide it, so that Snoke doesn't get bursted down in 1 round. But I should realistically just go and cast it, because I need the additional card to find removal. Like I have no pin downs left. Hadley requires me to have a die in the pool out first, so his Talzin could go do shit right away. And then force speed into like a Dooku kill. So like I'm trying to have him kill FOSS so I can natural pilot, go kill his guy, take some damage, and then try to kill him after. But like I'm in just such a bad place here that it's just stuff that I probably shouldn't have done. So he has 8 health there and a Force Illusion. The other one has 11 health. So I go with the lower health one. He takes the 3. Oh, sorry. The reason I hit the 3 there on the Dooku is because the card's on top of his deck. So like he had Witch Magic and Overconfidence. I already forgot the last card, but it was another card that I just didn't want to see. So that's why he had took the 3. But yeah, so like just the misset of sequencing and me thinking somehow I'm gonna be able to use this, like get this cube and do stuff with it, was a huge error in judgment, because I could have pitched to reroll on the other dice a couple of times, and like I said, the 2 focus in theory would have potentially got me there. So like as soon as I see that the 2 focus misses, or he like eats it or something, then I could attempt to go with the Snoke and cube, and then try to set up to have Foss then at that point just pick up the natural pilot so we can go get the kill. But yeah, so I flubbed that up completely. It's really unknown what would have occurred there with the failure anger. Like I could have hit multiple blanks and then he just blow my shit out. But you have to give yourself a chance to win, and I had much lower odds of trying to do stuff with the cube and Faust than anything else. So he has the speed, and there's nothing I can realistically do about that. And he has 4 melee damage there. So he could actually speed in 2000 into the kill, but him speeding into activate just makes more sense because he's guaranteed to have the 2. But he rolls out the 3, a resource, and a blank. He's under the 4 speed, so there's nothing I can do there with failure anger. Pretty much I know my Faust is dead, and I'm in a world of hurt. He's got a Witch Magic and an Overconfidence, you know. But he'd essentially do the 5 melee to Faust to kill him and strip the shield from Snoke. So a couple things happened in that transition if you're wondering why stuff went so like weirdly slow. So he gets to steal the resource from Snoke, but he tried to put it on Dooku when it was actually on Talzin. And then I was cleaning up stuff and forgot to take the shield off, so he had to tell me again. But yeah, so like here I'm just like screwed, and I pretty much know it. But I've got this. So I rolled the slave one out to potentially threaten, like I'm gonna try to do the power action, so he needs to do shit right now. And then I feel your anger, the 3 away. But this Rift Valley's pretty much been eating my asshole out. Nothing I can do about it. But I'm gonna end up playing a natural pilot here. He's gonna Witch Magic and heal 3. Like, he shows the unyielding and an all-in, so like I just know that there's gonna be a combo shit next round and stuff's gonna hurt, so I need to kill this dude. He has no resources, so like nothing he can do from a removal standpoint. He can't gain a resource. But he plays the crystal ball on Dooku anyways. So something I find really interesting here is I have this mind trick. Oh no, I drew the mind trick off of Dooku. That's what it was. I don't think I would not cast the mind trick in the situation where he showed me like the 6 damage or whatever it was at the beginning of that. It just doesn't make any sense. So I had to have drawn it after. So I'm trying to get him to claim to eat that die. Now, here's another mistake. I play the stupid natural pilot instead of re-rolling the 4 non Dooku Sailor dice. So the reason I needed to re-roll the 4 non Dooku Sailor dice is to get him to Rift Valley, and then for me to get damage in, to get him to pop the stupid Force illusion, because based on what I had showing, the 3s would get, you know, pretty much get stopped by the Force illusion, because there's no way he's gonna take all of those, you know. But the problem now is that I do the stupid natural pilot, so he's aware that the stupid modified there that has a +3, so like that illusion is gonna be at minimum worth 4. So I need to do 7 damage and still have that other damage available through a Rift Valley, which is just like really low percentage odds, because I've got 2, 3, 3 and the +3, so that I don't have a way to get 7 and use that mod. So because he kills the Fang and then it comes back and I can do it, but like I'm short the damage there. And he's aware of it. So like if I had rerolled prior, then got like the 3 damage or the 2 damage, pretty much I would have to have gotten the 2 damage from the slave one or 2 damage from the ATDP and see if he runs the illusion out with it. Because I can't do the 3 unless I also do the Houndstooth off of it. So if I focused like Houndstooth and did those, but like pretty much once he claims and hits the Fang, yeah, I need to show the damage on 2s so that I can go after him and see if he just illusions there, so I can natural pilot and go for the kill. And like I'm counting here and then realize I'm just boned. Actually, I think I realize it in a bit. But yeah, super screwed. And like it was just pretty much all to my own doing. There were just 2 situations where I gave up, or my missequencing made it so my opponent knew what was happening. And pretty much screwed me out, like the chance cube. So like I took away my own potential of winning because I'm playing under this Rift Valley. Like playing under Rift Valley is really hard. There is one other thing that I guess screw up, as much as potentially screw up. So I go for the 3. He puts himself to 11. Now the thing I probably should have done here is focus to 2 shields and 2 damage, and then do the 2 damage into the illusion. And now the reason for this is because then in the subsequent round I could try to roll out and get the damage to kill Dooku with. But I hit the 1,000 here, and then my theory is that I'll just use this mind trick to try to survive. And like the reason this matters is quite a bit because I have a fucking mind trick in hand. So the mind trick I should be able to potentially stabilize and survive. If he doesn't hit a 4 speed on 1,000, then I should be in an okay spot because he won't be able to 4 speed roll out Dooku and focus and then unyielding kill me, and I would have had 3 shields. So he would have had to have like hit me with the dagger to remove 1, or unyielding straight through. And the mind trick I could pretty much just blow up either a bunch of his damage or the 4 speed with whatever damage I could get, and it would pretty much not fully prevent, but as long as he didn't have the 2 damage to go with potentially Dooku 6, which he can't do because of lack of the resource, so he'd have to do 5 plus like 3. Then I would have been okay. So he flips the heirloom to 3 here. I throw out the mind trick, and now the question ends up being like, do I take 2 of Talzin's dice and the dagger, or do I take the 4 speed and the 3? So I'll let you know right now that me not taking 4 speed and 3 could be deemed as a ginormous mistake. Because what happens is he gets to go special, roll out. If he hits the 2 or the 3 on Dooku, he can then use Dooku's ability to flip the other one and unyielding kill me. Which would just be awful because I just die there. So, but if I at least kill the other 2, it forces him to hit the pretty much to reroll. And since he wouldn't have the speed, he'd have to do it at a slower pace. So, any other removal I had, or if I just roll out Slave 1, I could potentially go for that. But he would have 1 resource and a discard. So there was no way for him to roll out Dooku and kill me in 1 action. In theory, like I could roll out Slave 1, and then if Dooku was showing, 5, and he has a focus on the crystal ball, he could all in to kill me by focusing the dagger to a 3 and doing 8 while eating my shield. But yeah, if let's say I don't roll out Slave 1, let's say I roll out Fang Fighter and I hit the damage though, he has to be concerned with what to do from there. But does not be what I did. So he did the 3, which is really interesting there. And I think the reasoning for that is, in case I had another piece of removal, he didn't want to lose the 3. But cracking 4 speed would have gave him higher percentage odds. In theory, he's doing it this way off of Ancient, because if the Ancient hits a 3, he kills me. If the Ancient hits a 1 and he hits a 2 or a 3 on Dooku, he kills me. But I think he had... So he would have had, what? 55% chance with the other way? I think it was 55. 55% chance of just auto-killing me. The other way. But yeah, so like if the illusion was gone, then I'd also be able to threaten here with the Fang to potentially kill his guy. I took the shield with the Slave 1 because the way he had resolved stuff, the concern was is if he had hit, he wouldn't be able to resolve the 3 because he played the H hit. So 2-2, actually 2-2-1 wouldn't kill me anyways. But oh shit, what the hell happened? Alright, reload this. So yeah, he does the rerolls, and I'm pretty much waiting for him to hit that focus or the 3 on Ancient, so I can doubt. So I doubt the Ancient, so I just actually can't die, because the 1 damage would have... So like I know he has all in his hand, so I can't leave it. I can't let him get an action here. So I have to hit the Ancient. So anything that hits it either pops a shield or a resource, or he gets a shield or whatever, and I'm not gonna die. I have this round. But stupid Dooku has a fucking ancient and an illusion and a shield now, and I need to do 2 damage. So after he ancient heals, I have to do 4 damage, and there's an illusion. So like I have to pair it with many things. And he has a resource. So it's just like awesome. So if I roll in any of the ATDP or Fangs, it's considerably a huge mistake. Because based on removal-wise, I should be trying to do it with the Snoke so that I can show the Disrupt to eat his resource. And then I would have access to ATDP Fang and Slave One to, in theory, kill the Dooku with. But it's never actually going to do it. Because I need 4 damage, and he'll eat 1 of the damage dice. So, like, I'm screwed no matter what. But I could feasibly go and kill Towson if he eats 1 of the damage dice and I can't kill Dooku. But this is why I should have never done the 5 to Towson. I should have just grabbed the shields, and then my mind trick play would have just been in theory, like much better, much more consistent. Because then if I get the damage and Dooku dies and like he falls off, I should be re-rolling ATDP here as well. It's even above and beyond that. I shouldn't even be rolling. I should be focusing to a Disrupt on the Hound and like a 2 focus on the Snoke. The reason I did this roll is because I'm looking for a shield, but I know the shield's useless to me because he has a freaking Unyielding in hand. So I should have focused to the Disrupt to make sure he doesn't have random removal. But like if he has 2 cards, then I think it was Unyielding and All-In, so I don't have to actually worry about it in general. But yeah, once again, because I left the illusion there, it's being a huge pain in the ass. So my thinking here at this point is like, alright, well, based on what I have, I can go and actually kill Towson. I can't remember if I was bluffing when I did this, or if I actually just needed the 4 resources to play another vehicle. I think I needed the 4 resources to play another vehicle because I needed another damage side. This would also give me the pay for the ATDP. So if there's an arc in hand, I could still get the kill. But I go after Towson. So I put 5 to put her at 7. And I think I play an arc here. So he overconfidence the 2 dice. So I end up getting the 2, and I can kill the Towson here. But I still can't actually kill Dooku because I need 4 damage. And Dooku's much scarier because he pairs with the dagger. It's +3. But the 4 speed is off the table at least. So I had a thought here where I could potentially just claim so I could actually cast removal. So then I play the Arc. So yeah, I'm like up Shit's Creek without a paddle. One of the other things is that like if I kill Dooku, then the only 3 he can represent natural is off of the heirloom to unyielding kill me with. So like there were just so many things that went wrong. Because if the illusion had got popped the prior round, I wouldn't have to have worried about there being so much health. And I would have been able to kill the Dooku and actually probably still kill the Talzin there. Because the illusion would have got popped for 2 instead of 3 way earlier. And I could have threatened to kill him and random shit. So like I may have potentially been able to win this game if I didn't do it the way that I did it. So like I actually need a piece of removal here to go and kill this guy. And I don't know. Mistakes were made. The other thing is because I know there was an unyielding there, if the other one got discarded and it wasn't in his hand, I needed to punch the Dooku so he would illusion mill it. So like that was game 1, and realistically the next 2 games are kind of just like rollovers. Like so we'll go 1.5 speed. But yeah, pretty much those were the potential drastic mistakes I was, or like inefficiencies that I made because I was giving him full information for him to make his decisions on, so he could make the most accurate ones. I think I'm just too accustomed to playing against people that can't really see the damage. And Mr. NJ Cuenca definitely played 100% correct there and was taking the correct Rift Valley rips. But yeah, so like, remember how I drew that mind trick after my dude got blown out with the Dooku? If I had drew the additional card prior, like in the first round, and I was the 1 deeper, then the mind trick would have been in hand way prior. So I would have done it the round before. Whether that changes things, really unknown. But I wouldn't have had it for the subsequent round. But I don't know. There's just so much there because like guys should have died if done correctly. But I myself wasn't sitting there really thinking about the math too hard, and I was off. Dooku's 12 health with the shields and shit is like really annoying. But Jesus Christ, I got switched to double speed. These ones go pretty fast, so there's not too much for me to really talk about. But knowing the sequencing differentials and like showing your opponent the information versus like them guessing the information's there, pretty jacked. So I can't do this on 2.5. I'll never like know what's going on. We'll go to 1.5, but we do play this one kind of quick because we know we're short on time. Bazine pulls up resource discard. So great sides for me. He plays an Ancient, spends all his money. So I have a doubt in a Natural Pilot. I don't feel bad here. I play a Slave one for 2 because my die's in the pool, so if he rolls out here, I want to be able to hit the Bazine. Alright, now I do the thing, get 3 resources. So focus 1 resource. He whiffed. I find no reason to do anything there with the power action. He grabs the resource. So I know I have a doubt. In theory, I could have rolled out Fost here to still represent like I have a deflect of some sort in case he like tries to focus over. But Dooku matters to me, so I do the Dooku. He does focus to the 2, I doubt it. He gets a blink. So I feel pretty good here that we got through most of that round without really taking anything. But now he's got 2-3. I power action. We hit the 1, so we fail. It was 66% chance because even the blank would kill the Ancient. We had the 2 and the 3. She takes 5, goes to 6. So she's fated to die next round. See what Dooku gets. So my theory here is that I'm going to go punch for 5, 5 plus, possibly 7. So I go get 2 resources. Cast the DH because I want extra damage. Because like from here I could get essentially like the Nutter Butter of like 9 damage or something. So here's part of where I started to make a mistake. So I resolved the 2 damage, kind of concerning myself with a deflect, right? But the dilemma is that after I use this 2 focus, the deflect doesn't actually matter. So, because I end up rerolling the other 3, and I was probably never rerolling the DH. So doing that was just a huge error in judgment. Because let's say I hit the 2 focus, or sorry, the 2 indirect on the slave one, and then also that hurt very much. Discarding the pin down. So I find the special here and I find the 2. But now the hard part is that because the DH was used up, I already used the resource, and I could have had the 2 focus to get 4 damage there. I could have focused to the 2 and the +2 and gotten 7. And then I could have just done it all into Dooku and kind of forced the removal of the Ancient potentially. But I want to kill Talzin because that damn 4 speed, how annoying it is. I think I kept a Natural Pilot over the pin down because I felt like I needed it, especially after the last game. The pin down, I think here would have been much more potentially relevant just because of damage. So I put an illusion down to block the 2. He runs into it. So I roll up Bazine here because I could kind of get whatever value from it. So I put the 2 shields on her. And now the reasoning for this was because by putting the 2 shields, I could re-snoke off of her the resource and get the 3 resources and let her die. Like, I have stuff in hand I want to cast. So, like, there's pretty much a huge dilemma here where I have an option of doing the slave one to try to eat one of his dice. But I decide that 3 resources and her dying is much more relevant. Because he would have had to have used 2 of his dice in order to kill her through the shields, which would have been a savings of 2 damage. So, like, I could have just either natural took it or cracked the power action. A 2 would have ate the 2. A 1 I would be able to eat like the 1,000 resource or the ancient special. I'm sorry, ancient shield, which is probably going to go on 1,000 shortly. So like it was 66% chance to eat a die. Or actually, sorry, the blank would have ate the 4 speed. So yeah. So pretty much I took 2 damage here for my choice. I hit the 2 and I killed the 1,000 die because he didn't want to resolve it. Got greedy with the shields. So like I know at this point that my goal is to focus, get the resource to have natural pilot come down, and get the +2 on DH17, because what I'll do is I'll 4 into 1,000 and he's gonna to illusion it, because I'm not gonna freaking make the same mistake I did last time and show him the stupid natural pilot. So by doing the focus like that, it would put him in a tough position damage-wise, because I could essentially kill him off of it. I need a total of 5 damage here, and I can't afford to really pay resources because I don't have like another DH or some sort. If I had another DH, then I could go without it. But so I do the +2 in the resource because I know I'm going to do the natural pilot. So things are going to get really interesting here, because what's going to happen is I'm so far ahead of the play in my head that I go and I start saying wrong shit. So I should have done the 4 immediately. So instead I say 2, and like, because I'm thinking like 2 + 2, do the 4, then we'll do 2 + 3, and like I'm just like I'm already like way ahead, and I'm just like, oh my god, did I just say that? And I like. So my teammate kindly allows us to go back. Pretty much any focus here represents the 5 damage, so we'd be in the clear from there. Any focus on Snoke, correction. So I have to decide at this point whether I want the resource or the 2 damage. And what I actually decide on is that the Snoke is going to be focus in case he like made me reroll a die. I know he doesn't have hidden modes, but he has overconfidence and deflect. So if he like magically held the deflect here and took the 2, I wanted to be able to stop it. He spell removal, but whiffed. So she ended up dying. And then I pitched the extra slave one to see if I get anything from Snoke. So yeah, from here, Dooku's pretty doomed because I have 3 resources and crazy natural pilot shit. I think my hand has a pin down again. He keeps the resource on the Dooku because he wants to show the 7 to kill the stormtrooper. But what was that other side a second ago? See, he's thinking about whether to flip it or not. So he flips it to a 2. I pinned down the +3. Normally speaking, getting natural pilot on Snoke's really hard because you'd pretty much have to go into the round before resources or have like Snoke ability off of the stuff. So like the disrupt here is pretty clutch because he passes and I'm just gonna take that. Now he can't cast shit anymore. So I'm just trying to think like how I can get max damage here. Because I can go 3 off slave, 3 off slave. Like 4 with FOST or something like that. But my theory here is that I can go 5, 6, 7. Like I can just do a shit ton. Oh, I have the second natural pilot. That's what it was. There's one slave one's trying to go the distance. So pretty much because slave 1 has the 3 damage sides, the rest really doesn't matter. I'll grab 2 resources. I'll flip over a pilot to a 3. We'll end up doing 7 or I think it's 7. Might be 8. Alright, so that was 6. Oh, no, it was 8. He anciented back to 6, and then I 4'd. Then I got the 2 on the other slave one. So yeah, we ended up doing 14 to the Dooku that round.
But like realistically, I fucked up the stupid thing again with the 4 damage. So like, and someone asked what happened. Why is that guy eaten? It was a slave 1 power action. I also just realized I used my middle finger to point, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, so we're gonna go to game 3. We know we have like 13 minutes, so we both speed up. Trying to get a good shuffle in here because if my shit ever gets stack piled together, like I end up just getting like abused. But yeah, Slave One's pretty much been really clutch in like all the matches. So I think I keep a Fang Fighter and a Natural Pilot. I don't know what the other card I kept was, but I know I have to go damage in fast. So I think my hope was to potentially be able to go get a resource, special her, try to like foster for 4, and then like probably get my Fang controlled or something, or get him controlled and special her, and then like grab resources and Fang. I put them on 1 each because I can't have either one die, and I don't want the stupid shield on Snoke again to get freaking stolen with the dagger. So yeah, I have a cube. Two shield poop. So he goes resource. So my expectation here is that he's going to play a 3-drop on Dooku. So he'll probably play the 3-drop right here because I have the disrupt. Yeah. Now I'm trying to do math here because I need 7 resources in order to go Fang plus Natural Pilot. And I pitched the Fang because I have an Arc in hand. And I hit a couple specials. And like this is where things get weird. Because realistically, right here, I should consider just doing specials to both of them. But this dude finds 2 shields, 2 sets of 2 shield on Dooku and takes them. And then I eat the heirloom because I'm just afraid of that shit. So he does the 2, and now I end up resolving the resource, I think, because I decide the resource is more valuable. I'll lose one of my specials. So I play the Arc. Get the Arc. Then I lose the Natural Pilot here and just reroll the Stormtrooper. And I should have just rerolled the Snoke with it because it mattered a lot. I think also with that setup, I should probably do the 3 indirect first. Because if I do the 3 indirect and he takes off 2 shields off one guy and hits that guy for 1 more, then I can do the 2 indirect after. And if he pops the 2 shields, then I can punch that guy for 3. Kind of end up in the same scenario, but depends on where he pops the shields first. So this is probably the fucking the meanest shit that ever happened. I play an illusion down on Bazine early. She has 1 damage on her. Because my concern here is that if he rolls up, if he specials and hits like any pretty much set of damage, like I could have her end up dying to all melee, and he unyielding kills her. He has something silly there. He has like 9 damage. So he kills the Bazine. And then he ends up doing 2 here, which is unblockable, but I forget that it's unblockable. We'll get this fixed soon. There you go. So that's where we fix it. Then we 3 indirect. He does 2, but he doesn't realize it's 3. Okay. So I go do this because my plan is to cube into monies. Jeez, team. So pitch both Dooku's. And I'm doing the disrupt. Then I focus to a 3. Which he lets me take because he doesn't want me to hit him for FOST with 4. Yeah, so he kills that. Now I play the arc. That's why I play the arc second, by the way. 3 indirect. Oh, no, that's 2. Yeah, 3 indirect. So he takes 2 and then 1. So we've got 10 damage to 10 damage here. But he has a witch magic on top. So, like, I'm in a fucking world of hurt. Damn focus, man. I mean, the special on 4 speeds is ruining my world. So I roll out FOST here. And there's really small odds of FOST staying alive through the Dooku, but it forces him to special here instead of me doing anything else. So he does the 2, but I had whiffed on the FOST, so it just didn't matter. And he deflects it at me because he's a jerk. So I play a DH. Make so much money, it just doesn't matter, man. The reason I had chose to keep arcs over fangs were because 3 damage sides. I just needed consistent damage. I had got a 3 indirect, I think, like twice. So yeah. So he ends up killing and then doing like 5 or 6. Yeah, he does 6 to Snoke. So like I know it's all but over there because I've taken 21 damage and 21 health is his total. So I don't even reroll there because the amount of time we had, and I should have rerolled because I could have gotten the extra 2 damage in somewhere via like the Snoke 2 damage, but like we were on like 1 minute, so I needed to get into the next round, so I needed to do it fast. Yeah, he if you're wondering what happens there, he focuses with the Dooku and then he all ins to flip Talzin or to change to use Talzin's focus to flip the heirloom to 3 and kills me. But yep, them's the breaks, kid. Them's the breaks. So stop this here, but that was the rough breakdown. So like there were probably also more efficient plays on his side. There were times I think he had like overconfidence or stuff, and he'd like try to hold back. We kind of have a huge thing where we try to like mental fuck the shit out of each other all the time, or fuck over, I guess, not mental fuck. That sounds really weird. Well, there's no editing going on, so you can laugh now. So at Gen Con, he like level 5'd my level 4, because he was like leaving my damage in play. And I'm just like, all right, well, since this got left here, he doesn't have removal. And then I like roll out the next piece of damage, and then like he goes and like blows me out with whatever the hell his removal was. I can't even remember what he had, but it was like, let's say it was like overconfidence. So like I left like 4 damage there via like a 2 and a +2, and I just chose not to resolve it. And then I roll out like the next guy. I think I roll out like rookie pilot and then like re-roll the vehicle or something, and I have 6, and then he's like, all right, I'll overconfidence now, and I'm just like, oh my god, you motherfucker. So yeah, there's usually some mind games going on, and then like just screwing the hell out of each other, as far as like you think you're safe when you're not. But yeah, definitely some inefficient plays. I gave my opponent too much information to make his educated decisions with. And then I had that huge error where I just kind of like mental lapsed and said I said 2 instead of 4, and then only took the 1 die back. So it wasn't like I said 2 and took both dice. Like I already knew what I was doing, that they were gonna go in as 4 and go do the 5, and like I just said it, and it was just like, oh my god. Like, so I ended up winning that one, because he let me go back. It may have let him go back once early or something, but realistically, it doesn't matter. Like we both wanted to win there. And we're not gonna realistically go out of our way to screw each other. But he definitely did not have to go back. And then if that happened, I think I end up just going and doing 7 damage to the other character. I'll just go do like 7 to Dooku there, which could end up like costing me that second round, or the second game. But yeah, so like if I had correctly done that first game with the same type of thing where I hit him with the stuff, and then he illusions, and then I natural pilot and kill the guy, like I could end up taking that game down, and then our actual game 2 doesn't exist. But in theory, that could have potentially been game 3. But yeah, you never know what happens in life. Try to have no regrets, and like when stuff goes down, like try to look where you messed up. Not everything will be that you messed up. Sometimes you won't see how there could be a potential mistake. You just got to try to like learn and grow from it. Remember it for next time, and better improve yourself. Like we've gotten to the level we're at not because we woke up one day and we were there. There's tons and tons of grinding and reflection
and it's a whole lot of reflecting on, like, how you got there, what happened, bad things that happened, and kind of growing from it. Like, even, paying attention to the opponent to make sure that they're doing stuff correctly is kind of something that's ingrained over time. As you get, quote unquote, cheated by people, or things become accidents, or whatever it is, because, like, you never, it's too hard to really tell. You just become aware of those things, so, like, if you go back and watching, like, the Luke Ray match, my opponent was, just messing up in certain areas. Just like, all right, I dealt the damage. He put 2 extra. I'm like, no, like, it's only this. Then he tried to take, like, 2 more off, or 2 more off than it was supposed to be. And I was like, whoa. No, like, you took 6, like, or you took 7, you should have 6. So then he tried to go to 5, and it was like, no, I didn't deal 6, I dealt 7, but you have 6 damage. And it was like, because he had a shield. But it's just, like, the small stuff. So, like, just, try to learn and grow from it. But if you can always have your games recorded, and if you just feel like something went wrong there somewhere, go back and review it and see if you can tell what happened. For the most part, I realized my natural pilot error, like, right after I did it. I was like, why would I do this? I think, like, my initial thought was, like, okay, if I hit the 3 on the cube, he'll leave it alone, and I'll get the resources and be able to natural pilot and do the stuff. But, like, realistically, I should have just immediately Dooku'd straight into the +2, and the other stuff, or just rerolled to try to find it, because I didn't have the 2 focus yet. And then if he claim hits it, then it's just like, all right, cool, I'm safe. And I don't know if he would feel your anger there, because he really does want to get my FOST out of the way. And if he feel your anger for, like, 1 before FOST comes out, like, he might read the play for FOST, waiting for the extra die, because there's extra blanks on it. But yeah, so them's the breaks. Learn to be better, so you don't have regrets. Like, I don't know if I would say I have regrets, because, like, I felt I wasn't playing good enough there. I could be better. You have to strive to be the best, and, like, could have played more, grinded more games out, played more games, more testing, so that I could be, so that the situation would have arose enough times where it's just ingrained in my mind. A lot of the stuff is already just, like, preset understandings of how to go do stuff and the different things, but there's a lot of, like, crazy math going on with that deck, and I'm not in tune with it in line enough yet, where I'm just like, oh, I know all of this. Like, I know the damage I'm outputting for the most part, but I'm not necessarily looking for around the shield, around the Force illusions. What's this under Rift Valley? Like, Rift Valley puts a fuck ton of pressure on me, because just, like, anything can change at any point. He could just be like, I'm just gonna eat that focus now. So then, like, I have to kind of re-roll preemptively a little early to try to get him to claim, so that I could exactly know what I'm doing, instead of, like, re-rolling. I have no cards, and then he claims and just eats my focus, because now that's all I have left, or, like, running to a failure anger or something. So Nick definitely did a great job of maintaining the resource and having the removal to screw with me. He had a ton of shit that just ruins my deck. Failure angers, the deflex. But anyways, congrats to him. He played great and whooped my ass with the deck I thought I would just destroy him on. Yeah, shit's the shit. But you guys have a good one, and thanks for watching. Deuces.